Hi, my name is Alicia Strawn, and I will be discussing the evolution of technology for my Intro to Computers class at Aspen University. The way we experience technology today is far from the way technology was even 10 years ago. Technology is an area where advancements are continuously being made, and this will more than likely continue. Most individuals and companies depend on technology to increase the efficiency of their work. In this essay, I will explore my earliest recollection of technology, my current use of technology, and where I think we will be with technology in 20 years. My earliest recollection of technology, there were several pieces of technology in my childhood. One of them is a word processor. My mother was a teacher for many years, and there was a word processor in our home that she used frequently. She bought it in the 1980s. A word processor is an electronic device or computer software application that performs the task of composing, editing, formatting, and printing of documents. This is per word processor published in 2017. I do not have any memories of using the word processor as a child, but I do remember seeing my mother use it. I also remember my parents using a phone in the car that was in a black bag. I do not remember using it myself, but I know my parents used it. I do recall carrying the bag phone and it being very heavy. It plugged into the cigarette lighter receptacle in the car to charge. The other phone I recall early on was in the house. That phone had a long cord that remained attached when it was used and was frequently tangled from all the use of my older teenage sister. Another piece of technology I remember from my childhood was the large television, or TV. It was not large due to the screen size, but due to the large box behind the screen. There was a remote we used to change the channels, which were few due to the rural area we lived in. I do recall an antenna on the house, but we did not have cable. There was a video cassette recorder, or VCR, that could be attached to the TV, and a Nintendo game system that was used occasionally. The VCR played VHS, or video home system tapes, and some of those were home videos. We had a camcorder that was very large, and a blank VHS tape could be inserted into it for recording. These are some of my first memories of technology. My earliest memory of technology that I consider to be all mine was a cell phone. When I turned 16 in 2002 and started driving, my parents gave me a cell phone. It was a blue Motorola 120. It had an extendable antenna and very poor reception. It was only used for phone calls, no texting. According to Motorola V120C, published in 2017, there was a lot of criticism of the phone due to unreliable software and it having several bugs. My current use of technology, well, I can't imagine my life today without technology. I'm constantly reaching for one device or another, whether at home or work. One device I constantly use is my smartphone. I have an iPhone and it goes everywhere with me. I use it for phone calls, texting, and emailing others. When making phone calls, the service is generally good, much better than my first cell phone. Therefore, I no longer have a house phone because I use the iPhone when I'm out and about or at home. Texting and emailing are other ways I communicate with others because it's very quick and easy. I also use the calendar feature on my phone to keep track of events going on with my children and the rest of my family. When someone mentions a date or an event, I can quickly pull up my calendar and know what we have going on that day. I also use the notes in the phone to make sure I know what's going on at work. I can make a list of things that need to be done at home, grocery lists, and anything else. As I go through the day or I walk through a store, I can pull up my list, erase what's been completed or bought, and move on to the next item. I also use my smartphone to capture moments that happen in my life. The quality of the pictures and videos that can be taken on a smartphone now are great. It is very convenient to be able to pull my phone out and take a picture or video. The internet is another feature that I use on my phone throughout the day. I can use it to research something I'm unsure about, pull up my school assignments, or check the news and weather. Shopping is something else I like to do using the apps on the iPhone. It is very easy to pull up the Amazon or other apps to complete shopping online, or I can order things and pick them up in store. There are also many ways to socialize with others with a smartphone. I use Facebook daily to connect with family and friends. My iPhone is very useful. When I'm in my car, it is easy to continue using my phone hands-free. With Bluetooth, I can make calls without taking my hands off the steering wheel. I can also receive calls that come in without ever touching the phone, which is much safer. Another device I own and use frequently is my laptop. I do not use it quite as much as I do my iPhone, but I do use it several times a week. School assignments, work projects, and other tasks that require a larger screen are much easier to complete on the laptop. There are some apps that will give you limited access to sites with a smartphone and require you to go to a full website, so this is when I would use my laptop. This generally requires I use my laptop because it's easier to get to the website and not have to zoom in to see everything. I also have a tablet that I use occasionally. It can pull up videos, music, and apps for my children, so this makes it easy for them to use. Typically they use the tablet and I can access what I need on my phone, so I've kind of handed that over to them. I really like that I can go to the settings when my children are using it and secure it. At home, there are several useful devices, like Wi-Fi. It allows the internet access throughout the house without the hassle of wiring things up. I have a wireless printer so I can print from my laptop or I can print from my phone. This is very convenient. I also have a smart TV that uses the internet to stream programs. I chose to cancel regular programs through Dish TV or cable now, so we fully rely on apps like Netflix or Amazon. Technology in the future. Looking back, it's really incredible to see the advances with technology that have already occurred in my lifetime. In general, I'm very excited to see what the future holds. In the next 20 years, I anticipate many more developments in technology. I'm anxious to see how drones will further evolve. I agree with Joshi, 2017, when speaking of drones, she says they are still in the infancy stage in terms of mass adoption and usage. Drones are currently used for photography, shipping and delivery, search and rescue, viewing inaccessible terrain, crop monitoring, border surveillance, storm tracking, and many other things. But it's not the standard with all of these things. In the future, I could see that drones could be the only device doing these things and replace the individuals that are currently doing them. In the next 20 years, I also think that many cars on the road will drive themselves. With enhancements in sensors and technology in cars now, I think they will continue to be improved, and I think this will eventually lead to individuals getting in their cars, putting an address in the car, the computer of the car, and the car will go to the destination without the person driving it. I also think there will be more electric cars on the road. There are some being driven now, and I think they will continue to be improved, their prices will improve, and more individuals will purchase them. The technological improvements previously mentioned would be great, but working in healthcare, I really look forward to the healthcare-related advances in technology. I know how those advancements can benefit patients and how impactful that can be. Artificial limbs for patients have come a long way, but I think in 20 years, we will be able to use artificial limbs almost like they're the limb that was previously there. Surgeons should be able to connect the sensors of the artificial limb to the neurological system so the brain can communicate with the artificial limb what it needs to do. I also think there will continue to be artificial parts of the body created and improved so human organ transplants are not the only option for use when someone needs an organ. Virtual visits are another area of healthcare I believe will continue to increase in popularity. With the aging population of baby boomers and the shortage of healthcare providers, healthcare systems must continue to make improvements and see more patients even when there is not enough staff. Virtual visits are one way that can be done. These are just a few areas I know technology will continue to improve, and there will be many more enhancements in technology over the next 20 years. Thank you.